Welcome back to the Unbelievable Podcast, where we take the funniest stories from ancient myths, legends, and sacred texts and retell them to one another. I'm Bert.
And I'm Tamina.
And this is episode 4. We're calling this one Thou Shalt Not Flake.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So there's this woman, a young woman.
Oh, finally, a woman. Okay. What?
That's what you say now.
Okay, that's not good.
So we're going to call her Shelley.
Shelley?
Yeah,
Okay.
so Shelley is actually a river nymph. It's a sort of lesser god. Right?
All right.
And she's hilarious. She's a fast talker. She's a great storyteller, and she has a really quick wit. She's invited to every party, and everybody is, happy when she's there because they know they're going to get a hilarious story out of her. But her stories are often a little bit dirty or edgy.
Okay.
Right? Which is important.
All right. I mean, Shelley sounds cool so
Yeah,
far.
right? So Shelley's also a little bit of a snob. And sometimes she picks on people and she makes them the butt of her joke.
Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah, so it's the type of situation where it's like a 90s comedy act where everything's going fine and then they just start picking out people from the crowd to make fun of.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious when it's somebody else, but you just hope it's not you.
And then when it become you, then you just are mortified for the rest of the show.
You're just, covering up your face. You don't want anybody to see
you. Try to sneak out during the break.
Yeah. So
okay, got it.
One day, she finds out 2 of the major gods are getting married. They're both really powerful, but neither one is much fun. Their parties are usually heavy on ceremony and custom and tradition, but light on fun and entertainment. And they both have dry taste, and they're really straight-laced and serious. And they don't get contemporary music or art or entertainment generally. So it's a male and a female god. And the male one also has a reputation for obliterating gods and people alike when he doesn't get their jokes or stories. He's sort of self-conscious and worried that they're making fun of him when he doesn't understand the joke. And he'll also, destroy people if they beat him in a game or a sport.
So basically, just the worst.
Yeah, they're a great guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Just boring, but powerful. So you got to be careful.
Yeah. So these 2 powerful gods who are getting married, the male has a son. And he sends his son as a messenger to all of the lesser gods and all of the other gods and all the spirits and the animal gods and the nymphs. And, they have pretty fragile egos like we talked about. And they know that everybody finds them a little bit dry. And they task their son, the same one that they assigned to be the messenger, with inviting some interesting guests. They want to spice it up.
And I guess, so I'm guessing this is where Shelley comes in. Okay.
So the messenger, the son, decides that he'll invite a god of wine and revelry, a god of music, a god of sports, a god of entertainment, and Shelley, the hilarious nymph. So he tells his parents it's going to be epic. People were, I guess, still saying epic back then. So
this was 2005, apparently.
Yeah. So the messenger god sends out wedding invitations to all the guests, but he decides to visit the entertainers that he's inviting personally. He prepares a whole spiel about how grand the wedding's going to be and how each of them has to come to the reception, and they're, not the most receptive. So the wine god's like, it sounds great. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll bring my, most generic reds and my most conventional whites. But at the end, he's like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And, oh, wow. That's what the god of music says. He's like, I know exactly what I'll play. I'll play the same thing I played at your dad's last couple weddings.
Yeah.
But again, at the end, he's like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And the god of sports is like, oh, thanks so much. I can hardly wait. I'll be there. But he agrees to come too.
Okay.
And then Shelley. Shelley's like, oh, yeah, that sounds awesome. Which day is it again? It's like, oh, yeah, totally. I'll totally be there.
Yeah.
So that's how she responds. I'll totally be there.
Yeah.
So, he's not the most astute, doesn't really pick up on it. He thinks everything's fine. Everybody's going to show up.
Okay.
So the wedding day arrives and the ceremony is long. Like, these are gods, right? So it takes like an entire season, like maybe a spring or a fall, just to get through the titles
Damn.
And the vows. And everybody's just bored to tears.
But they all have to pretend that it's all great because the two gods are powerful, I guess.
You just got to pretend like you're loving it.
Yeah.
So by the time the ceremony ends, all the guests are tired of being there. They're bored. They're hungry. Reception starts. Great. But it's not going according to plan. So during the ceremony, the god of wine and the god of music were sitting next to each other. And apparently they got so bored that they both got tanked before the reception started. So all the musicians are obviously drunk and there isn't enough wine left to go around.
Okay.
Bit of a problem.
Sounds like a bad party. Yeah.
So the messenger god, he's starting to worry a little bit, but, he's still got some backups and he's looking for Shelly. Can't see her, so he sends her a text. Where are you at? He sees the typing bubbles come up and then they disappear.
Yeah.
And then they come up again.
Yeah.
And then they disappear.
Damn, that's cold.
Eventually, messenger god gets a reply. New phone, who dis?
Oh, that hurts. I feel it.
Yeah. So he types back and he explains who it is.
Yeah.
And eventually he gets a reply and it says, hey. There's like 6 Y's in hey. Yeah. And it says, my cat got sick and I had to wash it. I'm on my way now. Be there soon. Lots of O's. So back to the party. It turns out that the god of sports and the god of entertainment also got bored during the ceremony and started hooking up.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of the actors and all the athletes at the party are all over each other. They're kissing, they're making out. It's highly entertaining, but not the type of entertainment that you want for your dad's wedding reception.
Yeah, it's like awkward entertaining, but not good entertaining.
Exactly.
Generally, you don't want to be looking at people making out at parties.
Right.
Once you're past a certain age, I guess.
Not at your dad's wedding reception.
Yeah, definitely not your dad's wedding reception.
So messenger god is panicking now. He decides to text Shelly again. She's pretty much his only hope for saving the disaster of reception. And he sends this message. Hey, Shelly, it's me again. Are you here? ? Reception could really use one of your amazing stories right now. Let me know if you're in here already. Period. A few minutes later, he gets a response. Hey, you. Traffic was killer. Construction, ugh. Looking for parking, see you soon. Okay. So he's starting to get suspicious at this point, and a minute later, he gets another text from Shelly. But this one is a screenshot.
Okay.
You want to guess what's in the screenshot?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Is it an accidental screenshot or something? She meant to send it to somebody else.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, that's not good.
Exactly.
We've all been there.
So it's a screenshot of his conversation with her.
Yeah.
And there's a caption.
Okay.
And the caption says, OMG. Messenger boy is toast obsessed with me. Ew. So glad I didn't leave my house for his lame party.
Oh, that's not good. I don't think there's any coming back from that.
Yeah. So he replies, asking for an explanation, but he gets typing bubbles again and then nothing. Just dead silence. Ghosted. And he's pissed. He is livid. Party's a disaster. He'll be lucky if the dad doesn't hit him with a lightning bolt or something. And he heads over to Shelly's house because he's the messenger god. He's crazy fast. So he zips over there. And what do you think he's going to do once he gets there?
I mean, confront her, but how? I don't know. She's at home. She must be expecting him if she knows him. So
he gets to her house. He can tell that she's inside, but when he bangs on the door, she doesn't answer.
Yeah, we've all done that.
He sort of ringing the doorbell and he can see the curtains flutter a little bit. He could tell that she sort of peeked to make sure it was him, but she won't answer. No lights on. So he says to her, you like staying home so much? How you like this? And then he's a god. He picks up her entire house with her inside of it.
Okay.
And he throws it into the river. Craziest thing happens though.
That's a little drastic. Okay.
As soon as the house hits the river, it turns into, what do you think it's going to turn into?
I don't know, like a jail or
Kinda.
A box or something.
Really close. So as soon as it hits the water, it turns into a shell with Shelly inside of it. Okay,
so she's trapped inside.
And that is where turtles come from.
What?
Yeah. That's where turtles come from.
So the whole time it was the original story of turtles?
Yeah. So
all right,
that's where there was a river nymph who didn't go to the god's wedding and then pissed off the messenger god. So in response, he picked up her house and threw it into the river with her inside, which turned her into a turtle. And then she was cursed to carry her house around with her for eternity.
And her descendants, I guess.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So she's like the Eve of turtles.
Yeah, she's Turtle Eve.
I mean, she's still alive, right? So
I mean, she used to be a god, and now she's turtles. I mean, I feel like that's a fate worse than death.
I don't think it's that bad. If you're a turtle, you can eat humans, apparently.
I guess so.
And make deals with people. But, like, be careful. Like, Theseus might come along and eat you. Yeah. But generally, it doesn't seem like the worst life.
Yeah, check out episode 3 if you didn't get that reference.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's the origin story of turtles.
I feel like poor Shelley. I want Shelley on this one. Come on. Like, we've all had those parties we didn't want to go to. We tried to bail on them and the person just didn't get a message. But as you get older, you realize it's just much easier to say no than to be like, oh yeah, I'll show up and not show up. Just seems like she was like stuck in a bad spot, and then poor girl ended up being a friggin' turtle for all of eternity.
I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people who would be, team messenger. People who get flaked on a lot, they just want to, they're... I
mean, that says something about you if you get flaked on a lot.
Maybe you just have flaky friends. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe I feel for Shelley. I'm not team messenger boy here. Nobody wants to go to a boring party like where you're forced to be there because the people are too powerful. And then you got to be careful about your jokes because God knows like what will happen if you say a joke that pisses off the boring groom and bride. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't want to go to a party. I've been in situations where I haven't wanted to go to events because I would have had to be like the source of entertainment. Mm-hmm. And like, thankfully I didn't become a turtle because I don't associate with gods, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the sort of turning point might've been when she badmouthed the wedding.
But that was an accident.
Sure.
It was a screenshot. I mean, come on, we've all had situations like that.
I don't know if we all have, or at least we've all been involved in situations like that. I don't know if we've all been the sender.
Yeah,
I'd love to put up a poll online to see senders versus sendees and who's team messenger versus team Shelley.
I think that's a good idea, and let's see what comes out. Because I'm team Shelley. I feel bad for Shelley. She just didn't want to go to a party. Sent an accidental text. Girl should have been a little bit more straightforward, but come on. And didn't deserve being a turtle at the end because you didn't want to go to a boring party.
No, I think that's the moral of the story is no flaking.
Okay.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
She didn't want to go, I guess.
Yeah, she should have. But I don't know if she had the option of saying she didn't want to go to this killer angry gods party. Like, I feel like you have to go.
See, you're not making it sound any better.
I didn't write the story. I'm just trying to figure out what the lesson's supposed to be.
I mean, I think you're right that the lesson of the story is don't be a flake, because then you'll become a turtle. Poor turtles.
Turtles
getting
are flakes.
A real bad rep. Turtles are flakes. That's why maybe they were made so slow, so that they couldn't flake fast.
Or maybe they were slow to begin with.
Yeah. By the time they're there, the party is actually over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree with you that that's the moral of the story, but I feel bad for Shelley. I think it's a bad moral of the story.
It's overkill.
My moral of the story would be don't be boring and don't force people to your parties.
Don't be boring. Don't be boring. Don't make people into turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the Unbelievable podcast. We hope you had as good a time as we did. If so, subscribe. We release new episodes every week. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and all major podcast apps. If you have comments or feedback, you can email us at theunbelievablecast@gmail.com. That's theunbelievablecast@gmail.com. All one word. Thanks.